personnel from Supreme Counseling for Personal Development, students of Parkinson Secondary and Frederick Smith Secondary, fellow Toastmaster Linda, a very pleasant good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
We want to first say thank you to Supreme Counseling for inviting Subject Toastmasters to present this workshop. I'm sure that by the time we are completed, that you will have lots of information, and all you will have to do is then take that information and use it in your daily living. And this is information you're going to be able to use until you are no longer part of this world. So these skills that you're going to be taught today, you will have to practice them as you grow older and so on, but I'm sure that you will be able to utilize them for the rest of your lives. The very first thing we're going to do, you've been given a questionnaire, and all I want you to do for the next 3 minutes or so, the maximum is 5 minutes, I'm going to ask you to fill it out. You can either answer yes or no. Answer each question. There are 17 questions, either yes or no, and then we'll move on from there. 5 minutes. Answer me truthfully, because I believe you are here, you were chosen, because some persons believe that you need information and you will gain from it, and that's why you're here. So let's see what's happening. If you had yes for more than 8 of them, hands up. If you had yes for more than 8 of them, hands up. That's 2, 4, 6, 8 of you. 8 of 11? 8 of 12? Okay, hands down. If you had no for most of them, hands up. If you had no for most of them, hands up. Thank you too. Now I'm gonna throw the question. The fact that most of you had yes for most of them, it tells me you need not be here. The ones who said no, you definitely need to be here. But I'm going to challenge you, those who said yes. Because I'm going to get you talking right now. I should have told you that I will tell you later that this morning or during the course of the day, based on your participation, you'll be getting some little tickets. At the end of the day, we're going to give something to those children who demonstrate an eagerness, motivation, enthusiasm, and wish to participate. So we need to talk. So we're going to start talking a little bit before I plan to. For those who said yes, I'm sure that you would have mentioned yes to map number 5. Read number 5 for me. Good. So one of you would have had that message. Tell me what you understand by that. Any one of you. What do you understand by that? As a public speaker, what does that mean? Should it take so long because you have said yes? Yes, please. Huh?
Like more understanding?
You have to be more specific.
To speak properly so that your message will come out.
How? What are you going to do to get that message come out?
Your body language and the way you pronounce your words.
Not really. The operative thing there is figurative language, and it's not body language.
Proper.
Any other? Please, as the speech just given, let's show who just has to give it. Yes, please.
I was saying proper speech or something.
Proper speech. Proper speech. What do you mean by proper speech?
Like standard English.
Who had number 5 marked yes? If you be honest with me, if you had number 5 marked yes, put your hand in the air. Yes, young man. Tell me what you understand by that. No, it's a lot more than that. Yes, please. As I said, the phrase that I'm looking at is figurative language. Have you ever come across that term before? Because that's the key to that
When
statement.
you give eye contact.
No. Okay, so it means that all you have to put no for that. Because you have not accomplished that. But I've got another one. Let's look at number 9. Read number 9 for me.
Very vocal.
So those who had yes with that hands up. And again, pardon me, this is the teacher in me coming out. Right? Cannot do otherwise. This is the teacher in me. Let me get another this. What you understand by that?
The way you speak.
You have to say something more.
Like how to speak up and everything.
More than that.
Like the expression or something.
Say something more.
Expression, like who's speaking, like where the say it louder or something.
Okay, loudness is involved, yes.
When you like.
Anybody from this table would like to try yes, please? Tone of voice, anything else? Tone, somebody there said loudness.
Proper English.
Okay, emotion, I like that word, the emotion within your voice, yes. So you have some idea of that one, good. Let's go to another one. And what is pace? What is vocal pace?
Oh, it's meant compliment.
Yes, okay.
Like, I mean, like, so like, the expression, like, who's serious or anything, like,
Beautiful, yes, I can agree with you. What about pace? Yeah.
When you don't talk too fast or too slow.
Okay, so we understand that one, yes. So some of you have accomplished that one. Great. Let's look at number 8, number 13. What does number 13 say? I'm not hearing you. I'm just hearing about 2 or 3 voices. Who had that marked as yes? Tell me what you understand by that one. No, it doesn't mean that at all.
to make it suitable.
Doesn't mean that either. Somebody from this table, yes, sir. I want to hear these 2 voices here. I've not heard them yet at all. So wait, let me give these 2 a chance. Yes. Go ahead, love. Yes, that's very correct. You have to, if you're given a time limit, it must be within that time limit, because if you speak longer, or if you speak shorter or less time, then you are not respecting your audience. So yes, that's one. What about number 15? Read that one for me. Deliver coherently when speaking off the cuff. What do you understand by that one? That's the last one we'll do.
Speak properly when you're on or off the cuff.
What's on the cuff? What's off the cuff?
When you're in confidence.
On, I'm going to use your term. On or off the cuff. Is it not when you're off the cuff? On the cuff. The term there that you will have to be familiar with is off the cuff. Nobody can explain that to me. Let me see those who had a yes for that. Who had a yes? Don't you seem to be here to learn. You had a yes. I am saying the name is that's Sharice. Sharice, you had a yes? Why you said yes?
I thought it was like the win over something.
To do a?
Like win over something.
Win over? No. All right. Yes, dear. All right. We will quibble over that. We'll move on. Whether you had, they'll phone eventually. I'll tell me eventually. Whether you, but you should have no for that one for sure. Whether you had 8 for yes, If you had that, as I said to you, you'll help me deliver the presentation. If you had most of yours were no's, then you will benefit very greatly from this presentation. During this morning's session, we will be, so you already have the tickets have already started to be shared out. We are going to be looking at public speaking, what it is, its purpose. We'll also be looking at types of speeches, and we'll also be looking at, we'll be doing some of these speeches, and at the end we'll be doing evaluation as well. And then in the afternoon session, we are working. The speaking from here stops, and you're going to be involved in doing some of the things that you learned this morning. As I said earlier, there's some raffle tickets being given out, and I'm looking for participation from all of you. So the more tickets you can gain, then there's a prize awaiting you. And also at the very end, you're going to be given an evaluation form where you are going to evaluate the presenter's progress, what we did with you, what we liked, what we did not like, because we want that for our feedback. So all of that will be given during the course of the day. So let's start. What is public speaking? What is public speaking? Any thoughts? What it could be? Yes?
Public speaking is the expression of something that you take that could be either useful or not.
Anyone? Anybody wants to help her? Yes?
Being able to speak in front of a large audience.
Yeah, that's not better, yes. The ability to speak before an audience, and that's about a live audience. The ability to speak before a live audience. But it's not just speaking, it must be structured. So you just don't get out of your bed one morning and say, okay, I think I can public speak. That wouldn't work, unless you're just a plain natural. It is structured, and the purpose then, once you're public speaking, you want to do a number of things. You want to either inform, persuade, motivate, inspire, or entertain. So when you are public speaking, when you are speaking for a live audience, in a structured way, you're doing one of 5 things. There's a handle on that. You're doing 5 things, one of 5 things, or a combination. You are informing, you are entertaining, you are inspiring, motivating, or persuading. And we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. Slide number 2. That says, no, not that one. It says, maybe last one, this one. This one. Good. So you're going to get a handout now that we're going to go through together, so that you don't have to write as much. I've saved you some of the writing by doing handouts for you, and then you'll be able to follow with me as we go through that. So as I implied earlier, if you are in a public speaking scenario, there's a live audience, and they're gathered there for some reason. They're not just there because they want to be there. That they want to be there, but there's a reason for them being there. Once they're there, they expect something. We'll go into that a little bit in more detail. As I said earlier, these are the 5 reasons listed there as to why you would have a public speaking session. You want to inform the audience. You want to tell them something they don't know. You want to teach them something they don't know. You want to tell them something new. Or you want to explain something to them, and you are informing. You're motivating them, then you want them to do something with the information that you've given them. So for example, you want your listeners to recognize the importance of a diet and exercise. And when you're finished, you want to take the information you've given them and go do some exercise. So you don't want to just listen to the information, you want to do something with it afterwards. So you want to motivate them to think differently. Then there is inspiration, which is a little different. In inspiration now, you are asking people to achieve certain goals and ideals. For example, you want to impress on people the importance of punctuality. So when the person is finished, when you are finished, you say to yourself, you know what she said or what he said, that made some sense. And you know that when you are punctual, and things start going through your mind. So you think differently, and you want to reach, you want to do some of those same things. So the stories the person has given you all the various scenarios about punctuality, the importance, then you start to think a little differently and want to reach for those goals. Then there is persuasion. This calls for what we call a call to action, because the speaker actually makes you do something. So I would say, for example, all those of you who think that you will get tomorrow morning exercise, raise your hand. So you've committed yourself. So the persuasion calls for a commitment from the audience. And then there's entertaining, which is amusement. No, it doesn't have to be a belly laugh, a big, no. Just you smile and say, when the person says what they say, you smile, you reflect, say, that's true, you know. But so it's just for entertainment purposes, for enjoyment purposes. A good public speaker must bear three things in mind. Once you're going before a group of people to speak, there are three things you need to know. You need to know your audience. So, like I was preparing for this morning, I was told that my audience are a person between 14 years old and 16 years old. That's what I was told. So if any of you are over 16, I can't be blamed. I was told you're between 14 and 16. So I prepared for 14 and 16-year-olds. So that's why I prepared the handouts. Because I know that you cannot read as fast as an adult who is at probably shorthand, who is at University of West Indies. I know at 14, 16 years old, you might still have problems with some of your spelling words. And the child who has that problem is going to try to write and then lose the message. So I prepared handouts because I know the children I was preparing for. I knew I should have boys and girls. I did not come here to see bare boys or bare girls. So you must know the audience. You must know also, in your case, that you're all school children. But if my audience had included people who were working, I would have to think a little differently. So you need to know all these things. So the background of the person occupation. I'm talking as Victor most public speaking. Generally, no. Preparing a presentation, age range, male or female, educational background, job, employment, rich or poor. That may have something to do with it. Because if you go to an audience and you're talking about wanting to get money, a rich person doesn't want to know about getting money, they already have enough. So you have to know if the audience is made up of rich people, poor people, all rich, all poor, mixture, class, category. Are we speaking of the person who live in $3 million houses? Or are we speaking of the person who live in $1,000 houses? You need to know these things. So once you're doing a presentation, once you're doing public speaking, you need to know your audience and prepare for that. You need to know what knowledge persons have. So if you're going to come and talk about diabetes, and you're talking to nurses and doctors, they probably will not listen to you because they have all the knowledge already. Most of it, if not all. So there's not much you can tell them. So you must know as well what prior knowledge the person that you're going to speak to have. Expectations. What does your audience expect at the end of your presentation? So, remember that some want to be there. I'm not sure if all of you want to be here this morning, if you were saying I had to come. But some of you didn't want to come. Yeah. Some of you did not want to. I know children. I was a child, I was your age. Some of you came because you were told you had to come. Some of you prefer to be at school. Some of you come because you wish to be informed. You want to know what's happening. Some of you, based again on your background, might have come to be entertained. Might have come to be persuaded because you hear this thing called public speaking. It's something that somebody would want to do as they get older. I plan to be a speaker. I plan to be a motivation speaker. So you need to have this information. Some of you have come because, in other areas now, there are some people who do not care what you say. You can't change them. So some come with a mindset. Whatever he or she says, that's it. I am there because I'm going. But whatever he says or she says doesn't make any impression on my mind. So you come, people come with different expectations. And there's always the occasion. Is it a wedding? Is it a funeral? Is it a public lecture. Is the lecture at 10 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the evening or 10 o'clock in the night? So all of these things, once you are preparing to do public speaking, all of this information you must have as you prepare. Any questions? Many organizations across the world are dedicated to making people effective public speakers. In many cases, you have to pay for it. You've heard of Dale Carnegie? That's one of the ones that what you would find in Barbados, you have to pay to learn to public speak. I mean, pay big bucks to learn.
How much?
Crossword. I am not sure. I've not done it myself, but I am sure that it's quite costly. It's about 3 months or so, 3-6 months of program, and it's not cheap. That much I can say to you. Then there are organizations like the one I am a part of, Toastmasters International, where you learn at your own pace for a small fee, and a small fee means like $20 per month, as long as you want to. So I can be a Toastmaster for as long as I want to be. As long as I have breath, I can be a Toastmaster and pay $20 per month, which is just a nominal fee to keep things going. So that's what we call a non-profit organization. So we are not, Toastmasters is not there to make big bucks. They're there because there are lots of people out there who wish to need it, who need this service, and they're providing it for us almost free of cost. But in order to speak, you must have a speech. And we write our speeches. There are some of us who don't have, who are so skilled, they can do it easily. But most persons, 99.9% of persons, when they're public speaking, they have to write down their information. So you have to write it. So, what are the elements of an effective speech? You can tell me this because we've all gone through primary school, we're at secondary school. An effective written presentation, what must the 3 elements be?
The grammar.
We haven't even reached there yet. The 3 basic elements in a composition and an essay. Not there yet. Introduction, development of body, and a conclusion. So the same thing when you were reading compositions at class 4 level, and the essays you're reading at secondary school now, it's the same thing. So a speech is a composition. Words, ideas you have composed. So it must have a, I think there's a handle with organization. I'm not sure. So it must have those 3 areas. So let's look at the introduction. Every speech must have a good introduction. And what does the introduction do? Anybody know what the introduction of the speech would do? What do you think it would do? The introduction of the speech, what do you think it would do? What does the introduction do? Anybody can tell me?
Let the speaker know what you're about to talk about.
Can you be a bit more specific?
To let them know what you're getting to.
All right, before, let me go back a bit. Let's go back a bit. Before I go even go to the introduction. When you are writing your speeches, they must have a structure. There must be a structure. And I'm sure that you've been exposed to all of them thus far. For example, you might want to do your speech in what we call a time sequence. So you're talking about you yourself, and you talk about from we begin at birth, and you go through the stages to the present. That's a time sequence, what we call chronological. So your presentation, your speech could be a chronological one. Events happen as they happen. So first, I was born. Secondly, I went to school. Thirdly, I got married. Fourthly, I died. Or I will die. So that's a time sequence. That's one way. Also, you can do what we call a topical and I'm sure you do this at school when you're doing geography and social studies, where you approach in topics. So if let's say we're talking about education, you would have nursery, that's one topic by itself, nursery education. There's primary education, there's secondary education, and there's tertiary education. So instead of education, that topic, you can divide into those 4 topics and address them by topic. You can also do what we call spatial. And again, I'm sure you will use this in geography as well. Where you're talking about the geography of Barbados, for example, you're talking about Barbados, and you look at country, town or urban, and suburban. So if you speak in Barbados in physical areas, as it relates to physical areas, that's what we call spatial. And then there is problem, cause, solution. Something is wrong. So you say something is wrong. What is causing it? How can we fix it? So if there's a problem, what is causing this problem, and what are the solutions we can use? For example, we can say that a problem, there's too much traffic congestion on Barbados' roads between 7:30 and 9:30. That's the problem. What's causing it? Tell me what's the thing that's causing this traffic congestion.
Road damage.
The roads need repairing, road damage, the roads need repairing. Accidents. Roads too narrow. Traffic lights. Anything else? Everybody leaving home at the same time. Good? So those are the reasons. Solution, what can we do to solve it?
Fix the road.
Fix the roads. Make them wider. Stagger working hours. Let's go to the go at 7:30. Sound you must smile, right? Anything else? But you get the gist. So you have your problem, what's causing the problem, and your solutions. Good. So let's get about introductions now. What are some of the ways we can use? Sorry, I asked you what the introduction does. What does the introduction do? Sure, that's one thing. It tells the audience where you are going with this presentation. What are you going to do? Anything else it does? 2 other things. I think this is what this young lady more or less said. Right? It gives you an explanation where you're going. Other 2 things? Yes. Which is what you said as well, partly. Okay? The first thing it should do is grab the audience's attention. That's the first thing your introduction should do. Grab their attention. So whatever your first words are, the audience must look up and watch you, because you have something that is important they want to hear. So it grabs the attention. It gives you, as you said, it gives you an idea of where you're going with your presentation. And thirdly, it leads you into the rest of the speech. So you give me some idea of where are we going to deal with this here. Okay? So that's the reason for the introduction. So, what are some of the ways you can introduce our speech? Some good introductions. What are some effective introductions we can probably use? I'm going to expose you to a few of them. You can use a quotation. I brought some quotation books because this evening, as I said later, we are going to be doing some practicals. So I brought some books with quotations for you. So you can write a quotation. And that was one of the things you all use in your questionnaire. I had asked you number 4. Read number 4 for me in your questionnaire. How would you explain that in a presentation? If you're speaking to an audience, how would you explain that to me? Using quotations. You know what are quotations, right? I don't believe you told me no. But you have yes for that one, right? You have no? Who had yes for number 5? Sorry, for number 4? No, don't be ashamed, tell me. We are here to learn, yes. And you had yes. Why did you say yes? And what did you understand with that? Yes, darling, I'm listening. What's a quotation? What's a quote?
A physical speech.
No, it isn't.
I don't know.
Nobody knows what a quotation is. But if it was a story, tell get a dictionary, so. Why no, you don't have dictionaries? Yes, please.
A statement.
Say that again.
A statement.
You have to be more specific. Okay. A quotation will be exact words spoken by someone that you're using back. So, for example, you want to say, education is the key to success. There might have been somebody who might have used those words. And you want to use these words to start your talking about education, and you might want to begin, education is the key to success. And you make reference to who said those words and then move on into your speech. So, the quotation must be relevant. So, a relevant quotation. Also, you might want to use a poem or a song that is relevant. So you might want to begin by saying a song, the first four lines of a song that you know, again, that is relevant to what you're speaking about. Or a poem. You might have a 4-line poem that makes sense and that is going to tie in very easily and very effectively with my speech. You might want to give a story, a little story, very short, 1 to 2 minute story. Again, that ties in with what you want to say. Or you can, what we call a rhetorical question. You ask a question that needs no answer. You don't want an answer from the audience. You just want them to get them thinking. So you ask them a question. Okay? So these are ways of beginning your speeches with a quotation. The next one. The one about transitions. Then, as you said, it has a body. And within the body now, you are going to explain yourself. So we want to use statistics. As you develop your speech, what are statistics? What are statistics? Statistics, what are statistics?
Do you move your body?
Okay. Yeah, anybody want to try? For example, you say things like 90% of the population does so and so, or over 40% of the children at the school did X, Y, or Z. When you start to use numbers to explain anything you're saying, once you start to use numbers, and you find these numbers, and you just don't take numbers anyhow, they're numbers that you have found somewhere. For example, we're looking at the teenage pregnancy in Barbados. There are figures somewhere that tells us how many teenagers get pregnant every year. And if you make a reference to those figures, you are looking at the statistics. So it might say that 5 out of every 100 Barbadian teenage girls get pregnant every year. That's a statistic. It's a number that relates to the information you're looking at. So when you're developing, you might use statistics, you might use a story, you might use examples, illustrations to explain what you're saying. So whatever you're doing, and you do this every day in your conversations, you use examples, you use illustrations, you use stories to explain what you are doing. And all you're doing is transferring it to speaking. But very interesting, the handle that was just placed on your desk, state 1. We find, take the handle that's there. You have there already? You'll find that the words we use to link our ideas must be effective ones. So we don't want everybody saying then. After time, the listener will get tired listening to you talk about then, and we'll be listening when the next then will come. You have to find interesting words to use as you move from idea to idea. And that's what that's there for you. That will help you not only in public speaking, but your general life at school. Words you can use as you link your ideas. And then you don't have to overuse words like then and because you have a variety of words you can use as you go through your presentation. And this is for writing, whether you're writing your conversation, you're writing your essays, it's all the same. So you have to have your interesting linked words. Any questions thus far? So, let's pretend that we have written a speech. It has a good introduction. It has been developed well, and we also concluded well. Again, some of the same ideas. You can use a quotation at the end. You can use a story. You can use an example. You can summarize. Put all the ideas on into one. You can call the audience to actually tell the actually what the audience want to do with the information you have given them. So, for example, you might say, I have just told you why it is necessary to have a good diet and exercise at least 3 times a week. Now, I'm asking you, as of tomorrow morning, to get up early, put on some exercise gear, and go for a quick walk. So you tell them what to do with the information. So all of those are ways of finishing concluding your information. So your speech is written. And that won't happen in a breeze just like that. It takes time. Personally, for me to write a speech, it takes me days. And I mean days because I have to go over it, make sure it's what I want it to be. So before I start to practice the speech, I have to make sure what I have on paper is what I want to say. And you'll have to do that too. You must go over the information. Make sure, is this a good introduction? Will this catch my listeners' attention? Have I thought about who will be listening to me? Okay, I have used some big words. I only have 10-year-old children listening to me. They will lose me. But there are going to be teachers in there too. And you know, if I call any words incorrectly, or if I say words if I mispronounce words, they will probably laugh at me. So I have to be sure that all these things are correct. So I've gone over all of that. We've reached the stage, we've gone over that, and we are ready now to public speak. We are ready to give the speech to our listeners. So there's some things you have to do after that. We have to use body language. I heard somebody use that word earlier. We have to use body language, and we have to use movement. And your number 10, related to that one. It says punctuate words with body language and movement. So when you are giving your presentation now, you're not going to stand behind the lectern and hold on to the lectern for dear life and have your eyes buried on your paper and public speak, because sooner or later you will lose everybody, and they will scribble, they'll talk, they'll use their cell phone, and they will hear a word that you say. So that doesn't happen. So what happens? You have to be able to utilize the space that you are given. So there's a lectern, and there's space on either side of the lectern. What we call the space that you're going to use. So as you rehearse your speech, you have to know to move from this point to here and speak to your audience. Make sure you get all the eyes. And then move back here. Stop a little bit. Reach audience again. And then move here and speak again. At all times, never doing this. At all times, getting eye contact. Because your eyes will say to me if I'm making sense. Or if I'm boring you. If I would rather be somewhere else. Because there are certain things that I say that you should at least smile, or do like this, or do like that. Or I should see your eyes look quizzical. So my speech, when I'm doing my speech, I need to see your faces. So I cannot stand at the lectern and bury my eyes on my paper. So I have to be able to use this space. At the same time, I have to use my hands to talk about outside, or over yonder, or in the sky, or it was fat, it was big, it was plump, it was really tall. So the vivid words I use, I must then use the actions for them. So when I talk about huge, as you hear it in my voice, it was huge. And you get a chance to picture this hugeness. So not only my voice says it, my hands say it. And if you were walking towards the bus terminal, I cannot stand here and walk towards the bus terminal. We were walking towards the bus terminal. So we talk movement. So that's public speaking. So public speaking moves from the paper now, from the written thing you have done, it has to be now placed as a speech. And it has to come from the paper. And we talk about vocal pace and tone and volume. So if I speak in one tone from yesterday to today, tomorrow, and do not inflect my voice, I will soon sing all of you to sleep. So therefore, I need to raise my voice, project my voice. I need to inflect it at times, so when I'm speaking, I might speak softly sometimes. I might speak a little louder at other times. There are times I'm going to speak very, very slowly for you to get the message. So he walked stealthily towards the closed door. But then there was a time when he tried, he had business to do then. So he moved quickly across the area. Okay? So the voice, I like this voice, explain it pretty well. Your volume, your tone, your expression, which is also seen on my face, all of that helps to bring the speech now from paper. So that's vocal pace and variety. And then visual aids. What are visual aids? What are visual aids? That was one of the questions that we went for. That was number 11. Complement my words with visual aids. What are visual aids? How do you use this? How do you use visual aids in a speech? What are they? What are they? That's the first one. What are visual aids? And how many of those had yes for that one again? Number 11, I said it was? Number sorry, not number 11. Number 11. Number 11. Who had yes? Tell me, Linda, what did you understand by that? If you said yes. I will say no. No. Anybody has another idea? What are visual aids? Tell me something more. Don't just think something they can see. Give me an example. I lost some of it. If you are talking about the body,
And the person has inspected to show
a sketch of the body. Okay, yeah, she's on the right track. So you're saying it could be a drawing. It could be a sketch. She's talking about the body, so it could be a sketch of the body. Anything else? She's on the right track. Anybody wants to be even a bit more specific? What's a visual aid? This is a visual aid, you know. This is a visual aid. If I'm talking about pencils, I might begin by saying, it's an object that I have used for many years now, and it helps me to ensure that when I transcribe, it is clear. Ladies and gentlemen, that object is a pencil. So I only produce it when it's necessary. So now I don't be playing with it all the time and then talk about a pencil. When I'm doing a speech on a pencil, I will only produce it when I'm ready for it. So that's what a visual aid does. It is anything that you can use that will help add impact to your presentation. So you might be talking about cell phones. You want to only use the cell phone. And you produce it when you're ready for it. It could be a picture. As the young lady said, it could be a drawing. It could be a PowerPoint presentation. So anything you use, any object, any picture, any diagram, any illustration. Could be a live person. I might use this young man whose name is, I might use, what's your name? Micah. Micah. I might use Micah as my visual aid. Because he's going to help me, while I'm speaking about, I would probably talk about Frederick Smith uniform. And how a Frederick Smith student should look on the street. And he demonstrates that quite easily, readily. So I might use him as my visual aid. Explain how the Frederick Smith youngster should look when he has on his school clothes. So that's a visual aid. Then, we obey time constraints. That was well explained. If you are told to speak for 5 to 7 minutes, it does not mean 10 minutes. If you are told to speak for 3 to 4 minutes, it does not say 5 minutes. In Toastmaster circles, you're given a range of time. So we will say that you'll speak for 5 minutes. That's a bit unfair. We will say 5 to 7. And 5 to 7 means that when you prepare your presentation, you are going to make sure that the least time you speak is 4 minutes and 30 seconds. 4 minutes 30. And the most you speak is 7:30. So we give you 30 seconds on either side. The time range. So when you're preparing your 5 to 7 minute speech, you should tell yourself, I can only develop 2 points or 3, the most. I can develop 5 points in 5 to 7 minutes. Because I must have my introduction, must have my development, I must have my conclusion. And that's included. So my 5 to 7 minute speech must last from 4 minutes 30 seconds to 7 minutes 30 seconds. 10 to 12, from 9 minutes 30 seconds to 12 minutes 30 seconds. So whenever you go over time, so when you go places and you're told this is going to last 10 minutes and last 15, then you get, what happens after time? You get bored. What do you do? Besides how do you show you're bored? How do you show you're bored?
You get your face.
You drop, see that's one. You do what?
Your face show emotion.
What kind?
Like, not interested.
Not interested, yeah. And yeah. You get restless. You get restless. I don't know if you do it still. Y'all scribble?
Yeah.
Your face and the draw?
Yeah.
Huh? You fidget with, your face and fidget with. And if you have a cell phone, what do you do with cell phone? Play with it, play a game, right? Good. So, are you going on Facebook? I did not hear that one, right? Good. So, you must respect people's time. If they say to you 10 minutes, they don't mean 15 minutes. So time is very important when you're giving a presentation. Any questions? So we're on the ball so far?
They said they need a stretch.
Okay, let's stand and stretch. Stand and stretch. Stand and give a stretch. Whoever needs a stretch. They shy? But y'all should be shy. Chelsea knows me, so I don't know why Chelsea is. What is Chelsea, right? I don't know if Chelsea knows. They don't know why Chelsea is shy. You're not shy? I'd be more surprised if you were shy. You know, I'd be more surprised if you were shy. Stand, though. You can stand. Stand where you are. Chelsea was the person that said you that you want to stretch.
No.
They want to show that they want to stretch. So we're just sitting on doing that.
Okay, I'm going to move on then. Good. Types of speeches. Now, as I said to you, as you grow older, you're going to be exposed to writing speeches. Those of you, when it's time for you to graduate, one of you who knows might be valedictorian, you'll have to write a speech. You go to courses, again, you're told to write a speech. Any of you been to youth leadership program? Yeah. Any of you ever did youth leadership? I'm looking at your face. Yeah, you did youth leadership program with subject to us masters. Which one? Your face. None of you have ever done youth leadership program at St. Michael's School, at the St. Michael's School? Any of you? But we've had students from all of these schools so far, both of these schools. And you have to write speeches. And that's what Toastmasters is about, writing speeches. So you might write a speech to inform you. You're given the choice to write whatever kind of speech you have to write. And what are they again? Give me the types of speeches you can write again quickly. What kind? A speech? Persuasive, motivational, entertainment, informative. We had that one. You missed one. We had informative, we had persuasive, we had inspiration, we had motivational. And we had entertaining? Right, and entertaining, good. So those are the 5 different reasons you write a speech. Who said it, you? Oh, okay, great. Now, for the purpose of this presentation, I'm showing you some speeches that you'll have to write within the next few years or so. And if you turn your paper over, you can take your paper up, We're going to be looking at some what I call short speeches. Short or specialty speeches. And in Barbados, these are things we do badly all the time. The things we are going to be exposed to in the next few minutes are things we do incorrectly all the time. So I'm going to you this morning, and you're going to learn it for life, how to do these things well. First one, introducing a speaker. No, you don't always in the morning the person comes to you and say, please for an introduction. That's disrespect. That's one. So if you invited someone to speak to you, to your group, then you need beforehand to get them to tell you, I want a way of introducing you. And you get that information. So it doesn't end the same morning. If you look at those points, those bullets there, those are the bullets, those are the things you need to know before the person gets there. Read bullet 2.
Name, title, or profession.
Name, title, or profession. Name, title, or profession. What else? Anything such as if the person has a certificate in let's say the person wants to speak to you about. Give me a topic. Give me a topic quickly. Any topic that you want the person to speak to you about. Drinking. Teenage. I like this one. You mean drinking alcohol? Right. She said the person is going to talk about drinking, teenagers drinking alcohol.
Teenagers smoking, if it's smoking.
Oh, we usually want to teach alcohol, drinking alcohol. Good. Thank you, Shane. Good. So drinking alcohol. We want to invite someone to talk about that. What must think? What must we put into our thoughts if we invite that person? What else must be? Why do we need this person? Why do we need somebody to speak to us about children drinking alcohol, teenagers drinking alcohol?
So that they would know the values and the
Consequences,
right,
yeah.
that goes naturally.
So, who will you think I'm inviting?
A teenager.
Sure.
A person.
A person
they
that.
already are experienced.
Okay, that's great. A person who has had the experiences, probably negative, and that person has now reformed, and you want that person to speak to you. Anybody else? Yes. Right. So who you going to invite?
Probably someone that had experience.
Right. That we have that one. Anybody else we can invite to talk about that? A doctor, a medical doctor, yes, a medical doctor. Anybody else? A social worker who has been exposed to persons drinking alcohol.
Someone from jail.
Somebody,
A teenager from that experience.
an experience.
And did something foolish.
So somebody whose life because of alcohol did something foolish, to use your words, and ended up in jail.
Right.
Good. Okay. Say that again. I didn't hear that. It was not the bars from my ears. Okay, I'll move on. Great. Could be a policeman, again, because of the line of your duty, you have experienced and be exposed to persons who have used alcohol. Good. Counselor. Good. Let's move on. So, let's think about the person, for example, I'm going to use the first one I got. The person who did alcohol, found himself on the wrong end of the law, and ended up in prison. We are inviting that person to speak to us. It's a possibility, and we're looking at bullet 3. It is a possibility that that person might have a certificate, might have had a certificate. Because yes, the person might have gone through secondary school and acquired 3 or 4 CXCs. But it's also a big possibility too that the person might not have done much with his or her life. And I'm saying her too. See, not only his or her life. So the person hasn't done much. There's no need, and that's why it says significant facts. There's no need in introducing that person to note that the person has only 2 CXCs. That's not important. Because where is the person there in the first place? Where is the person there? To talk about that person's experience. So there is no need to talk about certificates. That has nothing to do with the job, with the matter at hand. So there are times when certificates are not necessary. And very often you go to presentations and you hear somebody being introduced, and you hear how many O-levels the person has, how many degrees the person has, how many masters the person has. What does that have to do with the price of food? The person is there for a particular reason. The person is there because the person has that information. So there's no need to say how many degrees the person has. It doesn't need to say how many certificates the person has. The person has the experience, and that's the reason you've invited that person to speak to you. So that's important. So that bullet 4 says, why is the speaker qualified? That's the reason the person is there. Why is the person there? The other things you can read on your own, like waiting at the lectern, or the person has come to the lectern. And the very important thing too, an introductory speech lasts 2 to 3 minutes. So very often again, you go to presentations, like graduations, like, not first, that's another one. Graduations, that's what I'll talk about, because that's the one you know well. Speech. The other thing, we're going to speech days. That's what secondary schools are, right? Speech days. And you're introducing the speaker, and the person who introduces the speaker speaks for 7 minutes. And when you're explaining at you say, well, where is he going with this? Where is she going with this? An introductory speech must last 2 or 3 minutes. It's not something you say, and you just use point. It's a speech. It's a speech. You must have an introduction, must have a development, and must have a conclusion. Remember, we said those are the 3 elements of a speech. So when you're introducing somebody, and so when you get a chance to introduce somebody at your school, you go back, make sure you write a speech that has the words that grab the person's attention initially, leads into your topic, and then it has a conclusion after it has been developed. Beginning prayers, number 2. That's the one you hear at funerals. That's the one you hear when you have retirement functions, when you have farewell functions, where you speak, as it says, in praise of the person. Again, it's a speech, and it should last 5 to 7 minutes. The thing about speaking in praise is that it should inspire, it should be an inspirational speech. So when you're discussing the person's qualities, it should give the listener something to aspire to. So I said the eulogy is a speaking in praise. You know what the eulogy is, right? What's the eulogy? Yeah, usually done a funeral person's life. You talk the person's life. So even though the person is dead, the aim of the eulogy is, what can I learn? Not only bring back memories yet, but based on this person's life, what are those 3 or 4 things that this person did that I want to aspire to? When we talk about inspiration, you go on another plane, you go on another level, you sit and you reflect. Here was a person who was always punctual. Here was a person who never was absent from work 1 single day. And you start asking yourself, what did that person do? I wonder if after from now on, if I can start doing that. Because sometimes when I stay home, I'm not really sick, you know. I just want a day home. So let me start thinking differently about going to work. So when you do a eulogy or when you're speaking in prayers, you have chosen 4 or 5 things with the person. And you eulogize it. You praise them. and show how the example show the person did these things, and then you want to rise to that level. So that's the speaking in praise. So it says there it can be it can take the biological approach, where you look at different parts of the person's life. But whatever you do, you select 2 or 3 attributes and describe the individual. And it said at bullet 4, you use personal stories, you can be humorous, you say what place the body has in history, and what debt is owed to the individual. That's speaking in praise. It says when you get home, you get out of school, you can reflect on it some more. Present an award, 3 to 4 minutes. Again, the award should be clearly displayed if you're going to present an award to someone. Against the speech again, introduction, development, conclusion. You should be able to see it. You place where everybody can see the award. And you have to emphasize the purpose the person is receiving that award. What merits that person to get that award. And always pay some tribute. The reasons, give some examples, some stories, some illustrations as to why that person receives the award. Then there's the accepting the award, which is 2 to 47 minutes again. So the person who is accepting speaks longer. So if you go to a retirement function, you'll find the person who accepts the award should speak longer than the person who is given the award. 5 to 7 minutes again. And again, you must always show gratitude, and you must be sincere. So don't say, I used to come work every morning, so I deserve this anyhow. That's not being sincere. You might mean it, but you have to find a way to coach it and say it nicely. Since I've been in this organization, God has given me the strength to be able to be at work every day. And I give God thanks and praise. You have said the same thing, you know, but you have said it a little differently. So you don't say, I deserve this award, even though you might deserve it. So you have to be very sincere, and you must always recognize the organization or the person who's given you. You must pay some tribute to that person. And then the last one, giving a toast, again done very, very incorrectly in Barbados again. You don't say at a toast, hip 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 hooray. You go a place and you say, let's join the toast, and everybody gets let's say hip 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 hooray. No, that's not a toast. Again, it's a speech, and you should not read it. You should commit it to your memory. Even though it's a speech, it's only 2 to 3 minutes, so it's quite short. Have an introduction, have a development, have a conclusion, and the person who is being toasted, that's another thing. If you are being toasted, you remain seated. You not touch that glass. Do not touch that glass, Chelsea. You sit very demurely as you are being toasted, and when the others stand and raise their glass, you nod and you smile sweetly. And then everybody has finished, you take a sip of yours afterwards, but not while the toast is going on. You raise that glass to be toasted. And then there is the last one. I think it should be on cue. Giving the vote of thanks. Again, done very badly in most places. So you see somebody go with the program. Let me your paper. So that is the program. And this program said prayer, opening remarks. So it said prayer, Michael. Opening remarks, Anderson Hines. Introduction, Lyndon. Something else, presentation, Sharice. Closing remarks, Chelsea. And vote of thanks, let me see your name. Vote of thanks, Nadia. So the person comes to the lectern with the program. Everybody can see the program. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our program. We want to thank so-and-so for giving the prayers. We also want to thank so-and-so for giving the opening remarks. Nah, that's shabby. Shoddy. So it's a speech again. You must prepare it. So when next time you give a vote of thanks, you must prepare it. You must have an introduction. And like we said, you can have Could be a quotation, it could be a little story, it could be anything you've learned in an introduction. But it must not be a case where you take your program and go to, everybody can see with this program in your hand, and you go to the lectern and recite one of the other, the persons who have helped. So what I've given to you is one I've used over the years. Works well for me because they are usually, because the people know I'm a Toastmaster, they'll wait about 5 minutes before the program finishes and say, "Beverly, give the board of thanks." So I've used this, I've utilized this over the years, and I've used it for many years now, and I'm not going to get tired using it either. So what it says here, first you should know, when you're giving a board of thanks, there is no need. Let me ask a question before you say that. Where does the board of thanks come?
At the end.
So the program started about 5 o'clock, right? It's now 9:30. People want to hear you? Do they want to hear you? Yes or no? Do they want to hear the board of thanks? What do they want to do? Get home. Right? So we say, no, the whole night listen to this, at this concert, and I'm ready to go home. So during the board of thanks, most people are moving. As the same board of thanks, people start walking out, right? Good. So they don't want to hear you. So you got to be very brief. So 2 to 3 minutes. So begin by saying, ladies and gentlemen. There's no need to say Madam Chair, Master of Ceremonies, and do the whole works that I've been doing all night long. So let's talk on graduation again, which I know best. So there's no need to say now Madam Principal, Madam Master of Ceremonies, guest speaker. No. You get straight to the point. Ladies and gentlemen, that includes everybody in the room. Child, everybody. Because the child will be a lady or a gentleman at some point in time. So ladies and gentlemen, and what you do, you use a sentence that will tell you you've come to the end. So ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of a memorable concert. So you've let the audience know you've come to an end. One sentence. And I forgot to tell you, you're using what we call the 3 C's. The first C says to conclude. So that's what I did just now. A sentence that says we've come to the end. The second C spells the word chat. So you're thanking the person who assisted using chat. C is the chief guest, so that's your guest speaker. H are your helpers. A is your assistants, and P are participants. So you thank in that order. So you thank your chief guest, the guest speaker. When you're thanking the guest speaker, you mention 2 or 3 things the person said that stands in your mind. So the person was talking about alcohol again, as we said here earlier. And what you remember this person said was that alcohol is not for children. He also said that alcohol will ruin your lives. And he also said that if alcohol becomes a habit, it will cause your death. And you remember those 3 things. So as you thank him or her, you say, and we'll always remember those 3 things. You mention them. Then you tell your helpers, are those people who give you big bucks, the person who sponsor you. So if somebody gave you, if David Southwinds gave you the hotel and lunch free, that's a helper. So you thank them. The assistants are people like those people who transported the furniture, who brought the multimedia projector, who dropped things here and there. Those are your assistants, and the participants are the persons who would have assisted, who did things. The singers, the dramatists, those persons. And then your last C says, see you. So once again, you thank your audience and says, we look forward to seeing you. It's an annual event next year at whatever time or whatever place. And remember, you do not thank yourselves. So again, you go to a presentation, you hear the board of thanks persons thanking themselves. You can't thank yourself. If an organization hosts something, so like Supreme Counselling can't thank them personally because you're part of Supreme Counselling. You can't thank yourselves for coming. Understand? That's your job. You have to be here. So you don't thank yourselves. Any questions? Now, I said it's very brief, it's a nutshell, but you have all day, all night, the rest of your lives to go up the notes, and you should never get rid of them.